on NewsNation, and a little bit of news on this Friday evening. President-elect Donald Trump expected to nominate Scott Bessent as the Treasury Secretary, a source confirms to NewsNation. Now, Bessent is a longtime hedge fund executive and the founder of Key Square Group, and he's been a key advisor to the president-elect on economic policy in the recent months. Other finalists included Apollo Group CEO Mark Rowan, the former Fed Governor Kevin Warsh, and Senator Bill Hagerty from Tennessee. Full panel here with me now. Lance Trover is a Republican strategist. Kelly Meyer, Julia Manchester, you know them both. Scott Bolden, NewsNation political contributor as well. Hello to you all. Thanks for hanging with me on a Friday night here.
Hello.
Happy Friday.
It snowed in D.C. and it's chilly in the studio, but let's get to it.
We're from Chicago. That wasn't snow.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
That wasn't snow.
Scott Bessent, Lance, as the Treasury Secretary pick. This is interesting because Donald Trump wants the market to go up and to the right. The market will love Scott Bessent and go up and to the right on this news. He also wants lots of tariffs, and the market does not like that. And that seemed to be a little bit of square peg, round hole. Why do you think he landed on Bessent?
I think he's a qualified guy. I look at the entire Trump transition over the last couple of weeks. We were talking about this backstage that, you know, we've had a stumble with Matt Gaetz, obviously, this week. But I think if you look at this period, they have a good operation going on there. Now we're at 15, 16 nominations just in the last 2 weeks. I think that speaks volumes about the operational aspects. The campaign was very good, operationally run. It's really good to see that this is going smoothly into the January 20th election.
Smooth?
You believe inauguration.
You believe all this is smooth?
I think they had a bump with Matt Gaetz, absolutely. Okay. But in terms of the rollout and behind-the-scenes operations, you have 15, 16 nominations in 2 weeks since Election Day. That tells me they are moving forward at a good clip.
Here's what I hear. Here's what I hear, Scott, or I think we'll probably hear, is we'll hear Democrats say, whoa, Donald Trump and tariffs, right? Mm-hmm. Donald Trump, play the soundbite actually real quick, and then we'll get to it on the other side.
To me, the most beautiful word, and I've said this for the last couple of weeks, in the dictionary today, is the word tariff. This country can become rich with the proper use of tariffs.
So that was Trump on Joe Rogan a few weeks ago, Scott. President Biden kept every single tariff from Donald Trump in place. So yes, Trump is talking about more and a lot more, but the president from your party that just occupied the White House, I guess you could say, agreed with him a little bit.
Well, the tariffs, he kept those tariffs in place, but Donald Trump is talking about having triple as many tariffs, which is inconsistent with the nominee. I also think if they've got these nominees because they haven't vetted these nominees, which is why 3 or 4 are going to have some problems. But the fact of the matter is, in order to have as many tariffs as Donald Trump, just from a macroeconomic standpoint, is you've got to be a self-producer so that those costs for those tariffs aren't passed on to the consumer, and they still criticize Biden.
Someone said that'd be a good thing.
And his economy.
A self-producer would be a good thing.
Okay, but you got to get there. You can't get there overnight.
The other part of this job, Julia, is the tax code's coming up for a rewrite. And I think at the end of the day, people are like, what's in my bank account? Am I paying more or less to Uncle Sam? And Scott Bessent's going to have a really big say.
Scott Bessent is likely going to be very much on board with Donald Trump, Senate Republicans, and really kind of extending those Trump tax cuts, bringing more tax cuts. I imagine this is going to be a hallmark of Trump's first year in office. So definitely look out for that.
This is what he'll do on, obviously, immigration and taxes on day one. And that's going to be a key player.
Absolutely, saying his favorite word is tariff. And as you mentioned, I was going to say, too, that Biden's kept those in place. But it's interesting what he does with China. We know that Biden was just meeting with Xi over the weekend. How they manage the competition as well as kind of put the pressure on China. That's going to be interesting for his pick. And again, I was just going to say it again shows the loyalty aspect of this for someone that's been so supportive of the MAGA movement.
All right. Thank you for watching. And make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.